Hello, everyone, and welcome. Laura here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm excited to be a part of the fun and festive release blog hop with Simon Says Stamp. And I have a couple of projects to share with you that I've created using some of these awesome new goodies from the fun and festive release. So let's get started. This first card I'm creating, I'm going to emboss a background using this Mod Trees background cling stamp. So I'm mounting this on my Misty, and I have a panel of fog cardstock, which I'm rubbing down with the magic powder bag. I'm going to emboss this Mod Trees background in white. So what I'm going for here is just kind of a very subtle yet hip background. You know when you want a little something, but you don't want it to be distracting, but you just want a slight pattern on your background. This is what I'm doing. White on fog. It's a classic. Never goes out of style if you ask me. So I'm pouring on some white embossing powder. This is by Simon Says Stamp. And I'm just funneling that right onto just a scrap sheet of paper is what I'm doing. Then I'll heat that with the heat gun. And then once I get done with that, I'm going to make two circles. First one's going to be out of slate, which is a dark gray. So Simon Says Stamp has slate, smoke, and fog. And they are awesome neutrals to have. This dark red is called Schoolhouse Red. It's a great dark red for the holidays. And then I'm going to use this Dancing Deer, which is a new die from the Fun and Festive release. I'm going to die cut a few of these deer, and then I will stack them up using spray adhesive to make it more of a dimensional die cut, because these are very intricate and dainty little deer, but aren't they so cute? So I'm using spray adhesive, spraying that in a scrap box, using my tweezers, and then I lay on the next deer. The key is to line it up at the feet, and then you have a little play time that you can, slide it around to line it up perfectly. And then once you get that lined up perfectly, put it back in the box, spray it again, lay on the third one. Now I am stamping a sentiment. This is from the Ornamental stamp set designed by Kathy Zilski. So I stamped the Mary using the coordinating die, just like so. And then there's a Christmas sentiment that I'm going to emboss in white onto black. And again, pouring on the white embossing powder. The great thing about this, it has changed my sentiment stampin' life, is these sentiment label dies. And listen, I'm going to be honest with you. When these sentiment labels first came out, I thought to myself, I don't need that. I can cut a sentiment label with my paper trimmer. I've been doing that for years. I'm not a ding-dong. But, you don't know what you've been missing until you know what you've been missing. You know what I'm saying? Because I used to have to do my sentiment strips 2 to 3 times because I would mess up multiple times. Either I stamp it crooked or I don't get the sentiment strip cut, centered. And I just didn't realize that I am a ding-dong. So now when I stamp the sentiment first and use the sentiment label dies to cut it out, I get it right the first time. And it's been life-changing. Now I'm adhering everything together, popping up these little circle frames. I'm going to kind of crop it off to the left, keeping with that hip vibe. I'll trim off that excess on the left and then popping up the Mary, tying that right in to that circle, and then I'm going to underneath tuck in the Christmas. Everything's tucked. And then to finish it off, a little red gemstone on Rudolph's nose. And this card is finished. Now the second card is a cutie patootie money holder card. Going to be using the Big Picture Book Bear and Big Picture Book Hugs dies. These are from the Fun and Festive release. So I'm die cutting the bear and the hugs out of some craft cardstock. Also going to do some of the parts out of some cream cardstock. So using a combination of the cream on the bear, giving him a cream belly, a little bit of cream on his nose. Here's how I put my big picture book, also my smaller picture book animals. You've probably seen me do this before. I take that negative, trace it out, and loosely cut it out. This is just going to be a backing. Cover that with tape runner, and then you can adhere all your pieces to that backing. Makes it easier than trying to put tape and all that, finagling. So I'm popping on the craft and the cream. I'm using an R30 on those cream ear innards to make them pink. So quickly coloring in those with R30, and then you just pop them in. Since that tape runner's already on the back, everything's ready to go. Now for the eyes and the nose, I'm coloring the craft cardstock with black Copic marker. Then I'll just pop those in, and the face is done. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now I'm going to adhere this all together. The cream belly on the craft body. I have a piece of pattern paper. This is by Pebbles. Just something simple, but gives a little bit of pattern. And then I'm using tape runner. I'm not really popping anything up and adhering the body down. Now for the arms, you don't want to put a bunch of tape runner, just a little bit in the center, because you want those arms to be able to open up. And you just slide that in right on top of the body. Now for the bear head. I feel like every time I do one of these picture book animal dies, whether the big ones or the small ones, I almost always cock the head to the side. I just can't resist a head cocked to the side. And then I'm going to slip in some money. So this would be a great birthday card or maybe even a graduation card. But if you didn't want to do money, there's some other fun options to be had, like maybe a sucker. I think if you put a glue dot on the back of that sucker, you could hold it in place. Of course, I had a Heath bar on hand. We like Heath bars. And then, I think if you cut the slits of the arms a little bit, you could slip in a gift card too. Now for the inside of the card, I'm going to stamp a sentiment from that Punny Animals stamp set, which is also new from the Fun and Festive release. And it says, "To the very best." So if you do a lot of animals and you like a little bit of humor, you need to have the Punny Animals. They are kind of cute, kind of funny, kind of punny. So there is the Big Bear Hugs Money Holder card. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for joining me. Make sure and check out the new release over at simonsis.com. Enjoy the rest of the blog hop. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.